Nalawi, Amayadora, you know what they Nalaya. Yeah, you begin and build it. You know what they Nalawi, Amayadora, you know what they Nalaya. Yeah, you begin and build it. Nobody Malawi, I'm a already nobody Malawi. Yeah, you could get back you dead. Nobody Malawi, I'm a already nobody Malawi. Yeah, you could get back you dead. Ya wali, and then I try to look at that. You walk ya wali, and then I try to look at that. Hey, you know what you got, you know that I be fine. You know that big Sunday, you know what you go, you know that I be fine. You know that big Sunday. Ya wali, and then I try to look at that. You walk ya wali, and then I try to look at that. Hey, you know what you got, you know that I be fine. And Pandanica, you know that big Pandanica, you know what you go, you know that I be fine. Pandanica, you know that big Pandanica. Nobody Malawi, I'm a tourist. Yeah, you can find you there. Nobody Malawi, I'm a tourist. Yeah, you can find you there.
See that?
Yeah, you could invent you did. Nobody Malawi. I'm a tourist. Nobody Malawi. Yeah, you could invent you did. You walk ya wali, and then I try to look at that. You walk ya wali, and then I try to look at that. Hey, you know what you got, you know that I be fine. Bandanica, you know that big Bandanica, you know what you go, you know that I be fine. Bandanica, you know that big Bandanica.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever you are. It is Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, of course, going live on Saturday, November 14, 2020. Tonight, as you can see below the screen, our topic of tonight, Juba regime, abandoned peace agreement, and back to national dialogue deceptions as usual. But first, uh, I know it's been quite some times. 3 weeks I haven't done any live show. It has been a really crazy year, I would say, with all these issues going on around. I have several loss in my family. That's why you guys are not seeing me for quite some times. Recently, we lost one of the loving mother, great mother. She's uncle wife was really wonderful woman. She's loved by all people around Medingawul in general, and our clan in particular, Padian. Mother Jonga Kodaru, she's was so amazing, and I trust God. She's in the right place right now. Wonderful, 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 loving. You cannot imagine. She treat everybody like her child, and I'm one of those. People that have been treated like a child. So that's why I've been away for quite some times. But yes, we are back tonight, and as we are moving along, so many issues in our countries, of course, and I would like to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden. I know we put a lot of effort, campaign here. We did several show, like 3 live shows here in support, for electing Joe and Kamala Harris. Now, I would say this is landslide because 306 electoral college, and I think more than you can say 70 years or 100 years is the most president elect that received huge amount of votes. People went out in huge big numbers. So I hope Mr. Donald Trump, the crazy uncle, will understand. Character matters, as we know. Behaviors matters. You have to behave good when you are a leader. You don't have to be a leader to behave good. Anyone should behave right. As Abraham Lincoln said, give man power and then you can exactly know the character, and he got the power, and we knew for the last 4 years what character Donald Trump is. It's not new to a lot of American people, but yes, of course, when you are a leader, you gotta have a better way of addressing everybody, and coping with everybody, but you cannot be bullying and just making fun of people and insulting people. This is not acceptable. We become a global citizen, and I'm glad the American they chose right path, and I'm proud to be part of the process campaigning for Joe and Kamala to go to White House so America can lead again. They can lead again. They can go back to you know uh, reassign with the climate accord in Paris, and also America can readmit itself one more time to uh, World Health Organization is so important, and to allow the refugees, to allow the immigrant to the United States. These are the values of American. American is a nation that built by migrant, but the arrogance of Donald Trump, it will go away, and I'm so glad. So yeah, congratulations to a lot of South Sudanese American who participated, who voted. I know we have so many people who were saying that Donald Trump is going to win again. There is no way. If you really a person with right mind, with conviction, you have seen the last 4 years how things have been going on here in the United States of America. The level of violence increase more because people get agitated the way the president speak to the crowd, and that's why those who are really extreme far, extreme right, those who actually wanted to do something bad, they get more excitement. But I'm glad things are settled and they are going back to the normal. So we will see that. So, and it is really a free nation, a free world. The United States of America. And now, as we are talking about the issue of South Sudan tonight, the other day I was watching CNN and I saw actually a niece, Donald Trump niece, criticizing him. One day, I hope, and I keep hoping, our people, the South Sudanese, those who call themselves, the uncle's daughters, the uncle's sons, the nieces of those in power, who really don't see any other path unless they have to be good boys, they have to be good girls. This they will realize that the dream of South Sudanese are bigger, and we have a dream that a fate because of bad government, of bad systematic and bad leadership in our country. So I was so excited to see a niece of the president, Yani Janoktu, saying that actually this guy is so arrogant. He's calling his uncle that actually my uncle doesn't know what he's doing. So I hope one day, those who really attach themselves to their uncle and they know their uncle are doing far worse. They are stealing, they are looting, they are doing all kind of bad stuff in the country. We will come to the senses, and realize that, what we have some individuals like myself and others are being talking here in the social media calling for justice, liberty, and prosperity. Sometimes it's not just, it is not a joke. As I mentioned to you several times, our life living here in the West, we have a decent life. We are okay. But you know what? The love of the country and the care and relatives, that would make us, do this and feel like South Sudan is better than this. We need uh, our country, we need our citizen relatives to live like other nations too. We have more than enough resources that actually need to be developed and to benefit everyone in the country. So I welcome all of you all around the world, wherever you are. As tonight, I said, we are discussing this Juba regime, abandoned peace agreement, and back to national dialogue deceptions. And you know what I mean by national dialogue deception. A year ago, actually, I went through eight points. And you know what I'm talking about because I have been monitoring situation in our country for a very long time. The 8 points that I talk about, how this regime, Salva Kiir Mayar, the man with the black hat, in J1, how he keep buying time, keep deceiving people of South Sudan to stay in power until he died. And that actually the purpose of doing all these things, creating wars, in 2013, and, going ahead and saying that, okay, we are going to reunify the SPLM party. Do you remember Arusha agreement, Arusha, the reunification? And also signing peace agreement in Addis Ababa, which is he did not sign there, and he has to go back to Juba, saying that he's going to to consult. I don't know who he's going to consult when he went back to Juba. So it was a tactic, so to buy time and buy time and time by time. And later in 2016, created another, crisis, so they can resign that peace agreement, which is called later revitalize peace agreement. All this thing is to buy time, and it didn't work even. Then they have to go to Juba, to Khartoum, and Riek Machar was in confinement, and finally the president has to call for national prayers in the country to heal the nations, and call for national dialogue, which has no way to go, because I know that people of South Sudan, they don't have any problem. The problem that they have is J1, is the government, is the leadership. That's the only problem that they have. The problem that they have is insecurity that has been created by this administration, by this regime, by President Salva Kiir and his cliques, so they can survive, because they survive when they are dividing people along ethnic, along the region, along clans, and that's how they have been surviving for quite some time. But a lot of people don't seem not to see that. But I'm glad now most of people, they start realizing that actually we have wasted very, very, very long time. 15 years for nothing. 15 years with no development. 15 years with no clean water. 15 years with no road. 15 years with no infrastructure in the country. 15 years with no justice. And until now, we are crying. Children are dying every day. Orphan, widows, and so forth. So it is unimaginable, the situation that our country is going. citizen in the Republic of South Sudan are going through. So all these are tactics, they have been using. That's why I mentioned the 8 point last year, going to Rome and, the most holy father is to greet and, kiss their feet and hoping that actually they are going to work together and bring about stability and peace in the country. But none of this worked out because actually it wasn't here from its heart. It's to buy time to tell people of South Sudan, you know what, we are going to bring peace to you. We are going to do this and we are going to do that. And people always keep hoping, saying that, okay, of course we have to keep hoping that peace would prevail and there will be a justice and there will be services delivering in South Sudan. But none of these are happening. None of these are happening. None of these are happening. Peace agreement that actually I did criticize the IO, the main opposition that time when they signed that deal in Khartoum. We call it was not genuine whatsoever, because we remember very well when they changed the venue from Addis Ababa to Khartoum, they were not genuine on that peace agreement. It was just from tactical point, bring them in, and then when you bring them in, that's it. And now you can see Riek Machar cannot even visit Ye, cannot even visit Wow, cannot even go to his hometown. So they are in confinement actually within Juba there, until now. There is no state government up Nile, there is no parliament, none of all these things. It's just buying time, like I said, since day one. They go 3 years, we didn't have an election. We're supposed to have election in 2015. It created war in 2013 so that time can go by. And then on 2018, again, created another problem, because that's the time that peace agreement, the end of the interim period, the peace agreement that was signed in Addis Ababa 2015, supposed to end in 2018. And then people can go and about having election in the country and moving for democratic transformation, but none of that happened. That 3 years is gone, and now they have to start another 3 years in 2018, which is the peace agreement that signed in Khartoum on September 12th, 2018. And it's supposed to be what? 2021, which is months away, months and months. So it's supposed to be next coming September. That's supposed to be the end of interim period of the revitalized peace agreement that was signed in Khartoum in 2018. But now we are far from so-called election. So as I said, it's a deceptions, just deceiving people of South Sudan for some time. And they keep doing it, it's working for him because he has people behind him and intercircle. So nothing. And now we are hearing also from 2021 supposed to be the end of the interim period, and then you can have election in 21. No more election. Now they are talking about 2022. They are talking about 2023, and then after 2023, they will create another thing. And then people of South Sudan, they keep suffering and suffering and suffering. And you gotta have that mental conviction to realize actually this regime of Salva Kiir, these uncles, they are not there for you. They are not there for, ordinary citizens. They are not there for even, Shabi, our gallants, men who fought for liberty, justice, and liberty and prosperity. They are not there. They are beggars right now. They are widows, orphan. Everyone is begging. So, my dear brothers and sisters, countrymen, you got to realize this, we are not just talking for nothing, we are not just talking for nothing. We see that actually with Salva Kiir Mayardis, with the cliques around him, South Sudan will not see any light at the end of the tunnel, because this is a plan that they had, because they committed, they looted, they did all kind of horrible thing in the country, and then they are worried about justice. Do you remember when President Kiir in 2017, when he said that, okay, what is my incentive if I have to sign peace agreement and then end over the power? What is my incentive? You see, it was asking about something really controversial. Well, we told him that your incentive is to bring justice to people. It's to have insecurity in the country, so your citizen can be freely moving and no one can intimidate them. Child cannot die from just simple thing, malaria or lack of malnutrition, and a woman cannot just deliver a baby and die in hospital there. These are your incentive. The legacy is your incentive. But in Junub of Salva Kiir Mayardis, in his own mind, that's not incentive mean to him. This is what I know, and that's why actually South Sudanese, we have been calling and calling. There is a sense we need that to come together and define what and ask what they need exactly, what kind of incentive that they want. Do they want to get away without justice? Do you, do they want people of South Sudan to pardon them, those who looted, those who kill people? If that's what they want, oh, well, let's have a conversation then. If that's what they want, and then we can have our country back. And whatever remain, عشان البسيط الفضل ده, we can move ahead with it and develop it. Why not? Why not sitting on the table and find out actually those uncle what incentive they're looking for? What kind of incentive they're looking for? Because then نجر حبل إلى ما لا نهاية, and there will be no any solution. We will lose the country because they don't care. They don't care. You know, they want to go away. They want to die with this South Sudan. They are using, you know, the tactic of Pharaoh. لأن الفراعنة لما كان يموتوا واحد بيكون king and queen, لما يموت بيقول يا أخي ادفنوا معي جيبوا العبيد بتاعي, all the slaves can be buried with me. That's the tactic. That's what we have seen in our own eyes. You know, Gurush bijibu, oil bibiu. There is no diversification of the, you know, of the resources, so they can you know, invest in agriculture. They can invest in this, and above all, insecurity. It created that insecurity, so people of South Sudan cannot be stable. They can be running around. كل زول بيكون خايف عن رقبته, بيكون خايف عن his own security. That's what we are now. That's what we are now. But it takes moral courage. It takes moral courage from you and me and others to speak out and say, no, it's not enough. It's my uncle, it's my aunt, it's my whatever. But you know what? They have done great damage to this country. They have done great damage. You know, they throw away the values, justice, liberty, prosperity, the backbone values that South Sudanese have fought for, you know, collectively, 64 tribe. They didn't care about all this thing. They did not, and they will not. And that's why now, all of a sudden, do you realize that? How many times that I have been asking about the national dialogue? Do you remember that? Zol Kanfi Mufawdat Salam. They signed peace agreement in Addis Ababa. And now they're supposed to implement this peace agreement. And then they went ahead and create something called national dialogue. Why would you call for national dialogue and you are already have a peace agreement? Implement that peace agreement. And that peace agreement actually will bring stability and reconciliation in the country. But now, yani, بمشي معاك كده لما الناس يمشي وراه يمشي يطلع no, this is not what I meant actually. No, let's go there. And then they come back. Now they run out of option. And that's why you see them, they're going back to square one. They're going back to national dialogue one more time. As I said clearly for a very long time, people of South Sudan, they don't have any differences. قبلية ومشاكل الحاصل ده كله will go away when there is a justice in the country, when there is a stability in the country. Like I said, number one, لما يكون في security. And Salva Kiir Mayar actually is capable of bringing security in the country, but it does not. It doesn't want to. It will not do it. Because لو بلد بقى secure, لو مواطن ما في حاجة بيحدده, everybody is free, they can go and cultivate, زول يمشي يزرع, الماشي يصيد سمك, الماشي يعمل, be creative. And then people are going to ask, you know, about their rights. They're in شارع, قروش انت بتجيب في oil, انت بتبيع جاز كل يوم, بتبيع بترول, قروش قاعد يمشي وين؟ ما نعمل به شارع, ما نعمل به مدرسة, ما نعمل به مستشفى. Okay, it could be infrastructure in the country. So they want to keep citizens busy actually. عشان كل زول يخاف عن نفسه. That's the strategy actually. That's the strategy. And that's why there is no security in the country. In any country in this planet, في أي مكان في العالم, security is always number one. People of South Sudan actually, they don't need anything from the government. هم عايزين بس يكون في أمن في البلد. لكن with Salva Kiir Mayar, there will be no security because they survive when there is a political turmoil, when there is a crisis, when there is, you know, instability. When people are fighting, when a Puk and a Gog are fighting, when the Nuer in Unity State are fighting with Tuj Mayadit, when those Murley fighting with the Dinka Board, and those Equatorial, they are fighting, you know, with others. That's what you want. When there is, you know, the stability in Malakal, as you see these days now, they become Kanfi and non-gunmen hassle of Juba. Like now they move. They move to Malakal, they become more systematic. They start, you know, targeting who? Targeting the Shuluk. Because they are making too much noise. You see how this regime work. That's how they work. Yomdak Barobe Azaya Abram, because he was making kind of a little bit noise within the SPLM party. They shot him dead. Okay, and those of Bolding, they shot him dead. Of those, you know, Shabab Tamadinga, those who were, you know, supportive of Paul Malone, and they were raising their voices, they start killing them, you know, burning them alive in Juba. And at night, if you say anything, intervene with the book. Al-An, وبعد مرور الزمن مش اللي وين انتم مذكرين كويس اللي كان حاصل في شركات the target of youth from board in شركات ليه because في اصوات برضه from the board from the Dinka board they were you know raising their voices يا جماعه حكومه ده ما كويس في a lot of problem happening just systematic target they target here from in you know they let Agar fight themselves Agar they can die in Lake State in huge numbers they let the Puganagwak die there you know and they are killing people in night in Juba and now people are discovering that what they have been doing in Juba and went to Bor, you know, targeting Shabab, and then went to Morley and our Morley to go destabilize others and create more problems. And now they are moving way toward north, the northern part of the country, targeting, you know, those of the Shuluk in Malacca. That's the another strategy they are doing right now. You know, they because they think they are those and they are these and they think they are smart. Noise noise. Let's just target them and then they start shooting them in Malacca. They start shooting them. عشان كده أنا في كلام أنا قلت زمان جنوبين they gotta learn this. We have to learn this. احنا قلنا for very long time إن النظام ده ده عدو بتاع جنوبين ده عدو بتاع دينكا ده عدو بتاع شلوك عدو بتاع أي زول because the nizam mind deen the nizam doesn't care about anyone what they care about the power as long whatever they do will keep them in power خلاص they will do what it takes بالضبط كده you know الغاية تبرر الوسيلة that's what they're doing they target those here and now a little bit silent here people are not making noise they go on the other side and target them and they keep moving along so what happening in Malakal Yomendil is not surprising it is not surprising لما نكون في ناس في community يعني to raise their voices يتكلموا they will be target ده نظام بتاع سلفا كير كده they will be target right there they will be target right there عشان كده نقول يا شباب يا أهلنا من كل مكان this is not about Dinka this is not about Nuer this is about us we the people of South Sudan have been targeted by this regime قاعدين 15 سنة without any development. So don't be surprised with this ignoring peace agreement and going back like oh والله يا أخي ده نعمل national dialogue ده نعمل شنو ما في مش كلامنا هنا قلنا السنة اللي فاتت هنا ما قلنا ما في سلام تذكر نحن تكلمنا مع إخوة في IO there is no peace agreement this is not genuine they were squeezed الحكومة دي كانت squeezed من مجتمع دولي كان فيه عقوبات اقتصادية they were down in the you know in the tank كان في ضغوط جامد جدا ناس قالوا well we are a bigger you know we are a bigger opposition maybe we go in and we can take our share of the lion هم ما يعرفوا الجماعة ديل زار دايرين يقدمهم يعني ما يعرفوا ان الجماعة ديل لأنه ideas بتاعهم is to get rid of everyone to stay in power and they did they succeeded they went there and told Riek Machar come يا أخي you know get out of the confinement let's sign this peace agreement come to Juba you'll be okay then قلنا ما جنوا الناس قالوا يا أخي أنتوا أعداء للسلام you guys are enemies of peace and we are not enemies of peace we need that peace genuine we need سلام عادل عشان ما يكون في مشكلة عشان ما في أي زول يجري كم لاجئين في دول الجوار من جنوبين السودانيين من كل القبائل كم بكثرة a lot of people so I just want to remind you good boys good girls the future of South Sudan في أيدينا نحن I know gun will not bring any stability in South Sudan لو قلنا دايرنا نشيل السلاح عشان نبي نحارب بالسلاح we are not going to solve any problem it's not going to solve problem actually بديم license بدي regime the license بقول oh we are protecting ourselves that's what they are going to say we are protecting themselves so carrying out gun you will kill your brother and you will be killed too right that's what's going to happen in our country so my dear brothers and sisters as I said I just want to remind you tonight and in this very important topic here زي ما أنا ذكرت المرة اللي فاتت ال 8 point اللي أنا تكلمت عنه رجعت فيه اليوم also in our program tonight في معلومات بيشير على إنه you know someone got knocked down one of those you know the government the government businessmen, you call them government businessmen, knocked down the former minister of finance. His name is Salvatore Garang Biodit, who is the cliques of president. طبعا قبل فتره انا تكلمت معاكم قلت يا اخي الاويل كروت اويل بيباع في اسواق العالميه والشعب الجنوب السودان ما بيلقى منه اي حاجه. They don't get nothing. The citizen of the country, they don't get nothing. Okay, الاويل بيباع والقروش كان بيجوا بيقسموا وين؟ في جي 1. قروش كان ما بيعمل ديبوزيت وين؟ في البنك المركزي. There was no whatsoever no deposit to the central bank of South Sudan. القروش الان بقى يقسموا وين؟ بقى في وين؟ في دبي. لان طبعا دبي ده مركز تجاره عالمي الان، كل المعاملات التجاريه بيتم هناك. انا قبل يومين في معلومات جانا بانه المعلوم الكود ان كود الزول المعروف اسمه كوراجين ده قال واحد من بزنس مان he knocked down this guy سلفاتور قرن مبيودي وكسر سنونه كمان. واي؟ لانه قال في كرود اويل ومشى باعه، اختلف في قروش. طبعا انتم معروفين مثل بيقول شنو؟ اذا اختلف اللصوص ظهر المسروق. of course the قروش the nation. شوف the قروش the people of South Sudan. So this is what happening. This is what happening in our country. It's so sad. It's really really sad. And actually لسه شوف ده جايين انه بقى يشاكلوا ذات برام في القروش، you know، يمشي يشاكلوا في دولة ثانية كده. imagine now how these people are what are they going to say about South Sudanese businessmen. ما معروف businessmen ده قروش بتاعهم ده جابوا من وين؟ ده business of course ده ناس تغسيل اموال. These are the wealth of the nation. They are looting the wealth of the nation. But انا موضوع بتاعي بس معاك انت جنوب السودان اليانغ ده، انت الجنوب السوداني ده، انت الجيش الشعبي ده، انت الحقك مسروق وانت ما قادر. انت بتيجي تقول no they are right, no فلان they are right. You know what? You don't have to be genius to understand this, you know, systematic corruption الحاصل في جنوب السودان. You don't have to be genius to know exactly what they are doing, you know. You don't have to. شايف بعينك يا الناس كله في البلد كلها. مشيت بحر غزال ناس تعبانه، المساكين اللي ما عنده ظهر، ما عنده اي زور في حكومه، تعبانين جدا جدا. مشيت all the way northern Avenue تعبانين. مشيت اكواتوريا عندك حرب بيقتل فيهم كل يوم. مشيت جنجلي تعبانين، يا عندك غرقانين بالمويه ليه رقبتهم هنا. everywhere. So it's nothing new. Just I want you to open your eyes. I want you to know this. I want you to know this. Get out of your box and see it from national perspective. Don't see it from the regional perspective. Don't see it from the tribe perspective. كلنا مظلومين. ولو كلنا مظلومين, we have to put our hand all together. لأن جنوب السودان بيكفينا. جنوب السودان عندنا كبر، عندنا نهاس. We have animals, we have fish, we have agriculture, you know. خليك من oil ده. We have more and more. We have a lot. لكن the only thing that we don't have is the leader. Is it because we don't have leaders in South Sudan? No, we have a lot of leaders, but they are not having that opportunity. That's a lot of people actually, they can fix this country and get it out of this mess that we are in. لكن ما بيلقوا مجال. No, بيجيبوا ناس لازم يكونوا طراطير، ناس بيصرفوا يقول yes ويه and all this thing, you know. These are the people, because they don't care about fairness. They care about their bellies. They care about their pockets. But for how long are you going to be watching this thing are happening? Your uncles, your aunt, whatever, your brother, they are doing this. But you have to have that moral courage inside you, an obligation, and say enough is enough. Uncle, please stop. This is not good. You are making us look bad. I think you have that. You have that ability. You can say that. Like when you choose to be complicit and silent and just go after me, oh, he's a betrayal. He betrayed South Sudan. No, South Sudan is my country. I did not betray South Sudan. And I'm not going out of South Sudan. I'm not against South Sudan, but I'm against those regimes because those in government, they come and they will go away. But that country will remain forever and ever. So when you see somebody speak the truth and doing the right thing, you got to get in that boat. You have to support that person. You have to. That eyes in no. Like when you choose to be complicit, and then you are even accusing those who speak the truth. Well, oh no, this is not the right time. My friend, there will be no right time for you. Remember what Dr. Luther King said. The right time is when you're doing the right thing. There will be no right time. Right time is لما تعمل حاجة صح. But when someone is doing something wrong and you cover it up, that's not right. That's not right. But when you speak up and say, no, this is not who we are, you are doing the right thing. And I know you, the people of South Sudan, the open-minded, the independent-minded, you have seen it for a very long time. 15 سنة. 15 years in security, 15 years with no services. I gave you an example last year in one of my live episodes when I talk about the state of Georgia, country called Georgia, not Georgia state in the United States. It used to be part of Soviet Union. ما كان في development at all. بلد تعبان جدا جدا. But they gained their independence in 2008. Now, the country of Georgia, majority of tourism, those who go to Eastern European, بيمشوا هناك بقى مقصد للسواح. You know, إمكانيات السياحية الموجودة عندنا في جنوب السودان هائلة جدا جدا. هائلة جدا جدا. لكن عشان ما عندنا leader that build a solid, strong foundation. In the leader will care about himself. In you got to ban, you could be banned forever. That's what we have. You die, you're hungry, to be jail, physical direct to nas, it's not his problem. Why are you banned then? That I know banned. He is banned to oversight, to supervise, to make sure everybody is treated good. That's what we know. Now, my brothers and sisters, country of Georgia, who are maqsad taswah, progressing. انت عارف مرة بيقولوا والله انا افارق ديل, we cannot and we will not. Human being is a human being. And remember, I said this 2 years ago. Whether you are a Brazilian or American or Italian or from Great Britain or a Chinese or a Vietnamese, human is human. الإنسان بطبيعته طمع وقريب وأناني ومتكبر. All this, موجودة في الإنسان. But what makes them go straight forward is when they agree and put a system. And if someone violated that system, they said, okay, we will go after that person. Yeah, that's what it is. But when a father or a mother or a brother, a big one who is in charge, say, no, we are not going to do that. I am the rules. I am the country. I am everything. When our brother or our father or our big sister become authoritative, everything for me, not for you, it's for me. And I am the one that will tell you what to do. I am the one that will determine. Other than having rule of the law that will be enforced and everybody will follow. No, the president is the law. And that's why you see now in the United States, which the election hustle, the election hustle, Donald Trump got a good, girl, no, they rig election. Election in America will never be rigged. لأن عندهم very sophisticated system. لكن زول بخرخر. ده لو كان في دول العالم الثالث, do you know how many people would have died? So many. لكن because they have that solid, ما في زول above the law. عشان كده American بيضحكوا بيقولها he's just wasting his time. لأن الكلام ده كله هيمشي في record بتاعه. People are going to talk about him. He's the one that doing damage to himself. Because we have institution عندنا مؤسسات في البلد ده. اوكي الجيش مؤسسه, ما مؤسسه وبس, مؤسسه بتعمل حمايه للدستور بتاعت البلد. This is what it is in the United States. That's why the countries, other countries in the world, they believe in American institution. Do you know what they did? They sent their congratulation messages to Joe Biden. Well, congratulations, Mr. President-elect. Chinese, Russian, UK, France, and what do you call Germany. They send their congratulation message. See, ما يشتغلوا بكلام بتاع دونالد ترامب. ده قال دونالد ترامب قاعد يقول قال ما داير يعمل ترانزيشن وشنو وما عارفين لأن أمريكا بلدها institution. So what I wanted to say about this, when you choose to build strong foundation, which is institution, ما في زول بيقدر عليه. لأن القانون هو بيكون قانون, بيكون above all, بيكون above رئيس, بيكون above فلان, بيكون above فلان, بيكون above خالك وعمك أختك, everyone. Yeah. لكن when you say now I am the law because أنا يا أخي أنا حاربت 38 years and this is my time, I need to eat more, then أنت ذاتك ما عندك value. You don't have any value. Actually, you were not fighting for value then. You were not fighting for value. See? That's so sad. And the saddest one also is when you support that ideas. I was laughing on some brothers here in the United States, South Sudanese American. They were saying that, oh, we support Donald Trump. You support Donald Trump? Why? What did he do? What values does he represent? In the last 4 years? And at the same time, oh, I am again scared. You see how we contradict ourselves sometimes? That's why we cannot put everything together. You know? So, I hope we realize, as long as we have those uncles there, I don't even see it is possible. As long as they are not implementing peace agreement, I don't see even it's going to be possible for them to do census in the country and allow constitution making in the country and draw districts, constituencies in the country. عشان نقدر يكون في representation accurately to be based on population that we have in the country. They are not interested unless we have all to stand up and say, no, this is what we need. We need transformation in this nation. We really do. عشان نطلع من الطين ده, this muddy, we got to get out of it. It's not going to happen if we chose to be complicit and silent. It's not going to happen if some of us say, oh, well, the problem with Anwar, the problem with Adenka, we better run away from it and leave it to them. It's not going to happen. It is our own problem, all of us. We don't want anyone to run out of this problem. We need to fix it together. Lanu running out of the problem, our solution is to fix it, to, work for it, hard for it, and keep talking about it until it get fixed. Lakini lela de lo zol min Equatorial gal ya, you know, I'm getting tired, you know, I'm gonna leave it. Uzul min Bahar Ghazal gal, I'm getting tired, I'm leaving it. Uzul min Upper Nile gal, I'm tired, I'm leaving it. Where is South Sudan then? Just think. Where is South Sudan then? And then there will be no South Sudan. There will be no South Sudan. Because South Sudan is not just a piece of land. It's us, the people, and piece of land combined. That's South Sudan. That's South Sudan. So with that, I would like to open the floor for you to come and weigh in. I will give 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, because we don't want it to do too much tonight. Because like I said, it's been really a crazy year. So many things happening, death, you know. But you know, the cool plan to Rabbana. It is planned from God. And I'm glad I'm back today to interact with you, the viewers of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Please go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and post the link here. And then if you are interested, you may come and weigh in. Please don't forget to share the video, because I've seen a lot of people, they are no longer getting our live broadcast. Please share it. Share it. The 132, it doesn't hurt you anything. If you go ahead and share it, people will get it. Please, I ask you to do so. Go ahead and do so. Okay, I went ahead and post the link. You may come and weigh in. Where is Madura you? Where is brother Madura you? Madura you actually, I want him to come today. I hope he is somewhere here to come and weigh in. Yep, I already posted the link. He's not here today, Tong. I don't know, maybe network is not working fine for him. But anyone is welcome, as I said. Please go ahead and share. Thank you, Sad Abdullah, for sharing. And thank you for all of you, whoever shared. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope, you know, when you come, I hope your network will cooperate, because sometimes when the network is not stronger, it's likely to throw us away, you know, from the thing. So let me see here who is the wanted to come and weigh in. Let me go ahead and check. I see that Samuel, but the network really it's not okay. I see that it's loading, but I hope, you know, it will work so you can weigh in perspective. Hopefully. Yeah, you see, it didn't work. So, Jama, you want to come and weigh in? You are welcome. Don't wait to the last minute. You always, you know, come and weigh in. I know it's too early, But actually, I found out it's better for us to do our live show, earlier than later. It would be much better to do it that way, because this way, people in South Sudan, they can be also, interacting with us and those in East Africa, instead of doing it late every time. So go ahead and send in the link is down there below. Let me go ahead and do another one. And if people are tired or they are not speaking, then I can make a close, statement. I will do that very soon. But go ahead and send in. Go ahead and send in your request. Go ahead and do that. And we'll move ahead here. Please go ahead and make share. Like I said, I want you 137, if that's possible, to share it. 137. So I want to repeat that topic again. Juba regime, abandoned peace agreement, and back to national dialogue deceptions. They've been singing this for quite some time, national dialogue, but there is nothing coming out of it. It's just to buy time. Like I said, al-khutat al-sulasiyya daiman. 3 years, 3 years from 2015, 3 years from 2018 to 2021, and now they are looking for another 3 years. That's the strategy, to buy time until they die in the office. They don't care about the suffering people of South Sudan. ما بيهمهم إنه مرة تموت، إنه ولد الأورفن يموت، إنه الويدو يحصل لهم بلاوي. ما بيهمهم إنه يكون في infrastructure، يكون في مستشفيات، يكون في تعليم، يكون في مويه نظيفة. ما بيهمهم إنه يكون في أمن في البلد، عشان أنا أمشي وغيري يمشي وناس يكونوا ماشيين في البلد من غير intimidation. لا لا لا. That's not what they want, because they survive when people are divided. They survive when people are fighting. They survive when there is, intercommunal conflicts. That's how they survive. عشان يجيب ناس يجيب ناس بتاع فلان ناس فلان ناس توت قلواق ناس فلان yeah, that's what it is. حكومة الجهلة. I know. That's exactly, ده حكومة الجهلة, So please, you want to come and weigh in? I give you that opportunity, that they can say whatever they want to say. I've been called, a betrayal, أنا بيت بلد، أنا بيت منو، وأنا بيت منو، لكن لا، ربنا ده شاهد. I have that mental conviction because I care about my country. I do. And their fairness, that's what I want. I have a decent life here. Okay? Nothing is bugging me but the love of that country. Zay my God, Mother Teresa. God, the world is full of good people. If you cannot find anyone, be that one. It's not that we are good people, but this is the right thing to do. And we have to do the right thing. That's what it means to be a citizen, to be concerned about the issues. When you are a concerned citizen, that's what you do. That's what you do. أنت ما بتكون متفرج، ما بتكون complicit. No. So I hope, let me play one little bit sound music, and then after that, maybe I can make a conclusion, because I don't see anyone. I hope this is the right one. Check this out. But I really want you to join. Madura, you said you want to come, but I don't see you here. Hopefully, you will come and weigh in as well. What happened to that nice song? It's not here anymore. That's something really interesting. That's not right. That's not what I want. Good afternoon. Let me put you up here, my brother. I hope the network will cooperate. Ustaz
I
Nial
think so.
Galwak, welcome to Concerned
Got
Citizen of
caught.
South Sudan.
Yeah,
So,
got caught. Thank you.
I got caught. Yeah, I apologize. So, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, and I want to give you an opportunity for you to weigh in, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Junkor. I think this is my first time to be on live on your
Mhm.
show. I've been following you all along,
Mm.
and it's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Thank you.
I have seen the topic, and I didn't actually follow from the very beginning, but
Mm.
I know the topic, so I can pick it from there.
Okay.
The national dialogue, the national dialogue conference that has been held in Juba
Mm.
versus the revitalized peace agreement.
Yes.
They are different. They are totally different altogether. If you look at it in a different angles, you will see that it is completely different. The national dialogue was initiated by the government under General Salva Kiir,
Mm.
and the reason behind the national dialogue was to undermine the
Mm.
implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. And if you look at it, it's not very inclusive, because if the national dialogue was made to be successful, it would have been put on hold until there is a smooth implementation of the revitalized peace agreement.
Mm.
So now, if you look at the agreement itself, is difficult to understand how far it is, because even the chapters that are really very critical, that are supposed to be implemented so that South Sudanese really understand that this agreement is going to work, all these chapters have not been implemented, especially the security, and it is the most critical part in the agreement. If you look at the security sector, is one of the critical part in the agreement in which the government is dragging its feet not to implement it, because the implementation of that security arrangement, it means that there are going to be a lot of reform that are stipulated in the agreement. And that's why, to undermine this process, they have to come up with something called national dialogue, which is not very inclusive. Of course, I know South Sudanese, they need to come together and heal their wound through a national dialogue. But this is the wrong timing. To me, this is not the real time that they should come and talk about the national dialogue. A national dialogue should come there after, when that everything is in place,
Mm.
like the peace agreement is fully implemented, the security sector is completely. I mean, there is a complete reform in the security sector, from the national security to the all organized forces, so that South Sudanese see their national army as not as a threat to them, but see them as a national army that will protect the integrity of the nation. But if you look at the current army, the South Sudanese are not happy when they see the SSPDF soldier. They are running away from them, because they are coming to kill them, they are coming to display them, they are coming to do all these wrong things. So we need that agreement to be implemented, so that we have a unified national army that will abide by its constitutional mandate. So what is happening in Juba is a mockery. I can just put it that way. It's a mockery. So you cannot just call for a national dialogue when you are actually working against what can bring people together. So if President Kiir is ready to bring people together, he should he should exactly show us his political will, that he is willing to bring a real peace to South Sudan by implementing the revitalized peace agreement, and bring on board the non-signatory parties that have not signed the agreement.
Mm.
So this is the step we can understand that, okay, Salva Kiir meant business this time. He is on the right track. But now there are parties that are still outside,
Mhm.
and that have not signed the agreement, because certain things were not actually certain. I mean, like the parties that are not part of this agreement,
Mm.
they are focusing on the root causes of the agreement. But if you look at the revitalized peace agreement, it has not actually talk about the root causes, But if those people were brought on board, or I mean, if they are brought on board, and they join together with other South Sudanese and other political forces in the country, at least they should push this country forward. But Salva Kiir is driving South Sudan single-handedly. Is driving South Sudan alone, based on his political ideology that are very known to him. So, to me, I can just simply say that the national dialogue. I have been following the national dialogue for the last 7 days, and if you look at the things that are coming up, actually they are very nice. People are talking freely. They are talking about national issues, about the economy, about the security, about rehabilitation, repatriation of the refugee and the IDPs. These are the real things, but the timing and the inclusivity are totally different.
Yeah.
So it will not bear any fruit.
You know what, Niall? Maybe let me interject here. And make no mistake. And that's why from the beginning, maybe you didn't catch me what I was saying from the beginning. I've been following this government. I used to support Salva Kiir because after the death of Dr. John Garang, I used to support Salva Kiir. But in 2012, I was critical in 2009, okay, 10, in 2011. But in 2012, that's when I withdraw my support, from Salva Kiir. And then I start making a note, knowing exactly what is wrong and what it needs to be fixed. And make no mistake, the national dialogue that they are calling these days, they called for national dialogue before. You know that?
Exactly. And that's why I say it was meant to undermine the agreement.
Not only undermine, they just want to buy time. And only one thing that people of South Sudan don't realize this, and we have been saying this for quite some time, they went ahead and called something called Arusha reunification. Do you remember? They called for Arusha in Tanzania, SPLM party, including IO, including others, including FDs. Let's reunify and let's fix the country. But it was a joke. It was just to buy time, to undermine the peace agreement that was signed in 2015 in Addis Ababa. Right? It was not implemented. They caused crisis in 2016 to get another 3 years. Do you remember when they bring in Taban Dengai? So now let's bring in Taban Dengai, let's leave that group out, and then later we can make a deal again so we can have more mandate, more time. They did. They succeeded doing that. Finally, they put Riek Machar in confinement because Riek Machar made some mistake too when he came to Khartoum, with that statement. And then now, Kiir with the region, whatever, he bribed those, give them money. Let's put him away. Put him away in confinement in Pretoria in South Africa. And then again, get another 3 years. In 2018, September 12th, we said, no, this is not a genuine, because we knew exactly what Salva Kiir wanted to do with his colleagues around him. They were down tanked. They were pressured. There is arm embargo. There's so many things that they are going through, Even they were moving further to do a sanction on oil sales. The company that will go and deal with them, they will get a sanction. But IO, the one that give this government another life, because they were deceived.
Legitimacy, yes.
Yeah, legitimacy. That's why I'm saying now, this is the same scenario that Salva Kiir is going to. 15 years, there is no infrastructure. There's no clean water. There's nothing. You go to Awanchanyal, his own village, nothing there. It's not about anyone. It's about him. It's about him being power. So now, people of South Sudan have to realize that this regime is their enemy. It's not Nuer, it's not Dinka, it's not Kakwa, it's nobody. But we don't need to run away from problem. We need to fix it. Okay?
Exactly.
And how can we fix it? We need to come together. Now, the picture is clear. It is clear to South Sudanese. They don't want to implement this peace like you put it. There's no parliament now in the country. In Upper Nile, there is no government. Okay? Nothing has been implemented. If you are still hoping that Salva Kiir Mayar is going to bring stability in South Sudan, I tell you, my brother, whoever watching here, forget about it. Forget about it. Go ahead, I'll give you the last word. Somebody else.
Thank you, Jankor. I know we have been following South Sudan. I am currently in Accra, in Ghana. You know, for I've been following South Sudan politics and the crisis all along. If you look, it's not that Salva Kiir will bring the change that we need, but sometimes there is what we call a chance. This peace agreement is like a window in which we can see things in a different angles. If Salva Kiir was exactly in a position to bring South Sudan back into where it is by then, of course he would have done it. But because he doesn't have any political will, that's why the crises are still going on. Of course, this agreement is not the best agreement. It's not the best agreement neither for us as a South Sudanese, nor for those who are calling for reform even. It's not the real peace. But because we don't have choice and the agreement came as it is, our position as a citizen is for them to have a political will in order to swallow their differences and implement this agreement so that we get a new transition. Maybe a new chapter can get on track if this agreement implemented. But of course, as you said, the government is not ready to implement the agreement. That's why it's buying time, delaying all this, the formation of the state government and the local governments. It's because they are not interested. I've been hearing even rumorously from the people that even this state government, they are going to be formed next year, not this year. And if you look at what has been happening in Juba, even IO now has been dragged down to the position of government. If you look at them now, the reform that they have been singing as submerged in the water, and now they're tuning to the music of Salva Kiir. And what they are doing is just they are distributing the position. They're talking about the position all the time. We want to take this state, the speaker, and all the things. And this is not what we need. We need a clear policy where they have a policy that talk about a reform, a total reform in the public institution, a reform in the security sector, and the repatriation of the IDPs.
Niall, let me cut you there. Actually, we said this in 2018. That actually this is not genuine. But Riek Machar and the IO, they did not listen. They thought maybe they can get away with the. Look now, Riek cannot even travel to Wow. He cannot even go to Malakal. He cannot go anywhere. So from territorial confinement in South Africa to confinement in Juba. That's it. That's what it is.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm saying that these people, they've been lying to the people of South Sudan for quite some time, for a lot of time. Like there's a brother here, he wrote a comment, he said, if people are lying to you every day, if the same person is lying to you last year, and then is lying to you again, and then you are not seeing it's a lie, and then you have a problem. And that's why I think that's a problem, Yeah, exactly. For a very long time, So go ahead, go ahead and finish. So that brother he withdraw. I don't know. Maybe his network is not working fine.
Yeah. Up to now, we don't have a clear way. We don't have a clear headway as South Sudanese. We are just looking up to our leaders, but they are not totally giving us what is happening. So, in a nutshell, we can just say the current agreement is not going to address what we need as a South Sudanese. It's not going to give us whatever we need, either peace or stability or a good security. But what I know that can bring a total change is when there is a unity among South Sudanese,
correct,
despite their tribal lines
sentiment,
or tribal affiliates. Of course, this is where we can, if we speak with one voice as South Sudanese that need a real change. In less than a minute, we can bring this government down, and a real government of the people can be installed. But it's difficult because we are all having this tribal sentiment. I am a Nuer. I might think that okay, I might support him as a Nuer, and that is totally wrong. You are a Dinka. This one is a Shuluk. The other one is a Barrier. And if we are following our tribal leaders because of what they think, of course, South Sudan will not see any light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
But if we unite under one banner as a South Sudanese that have been deprived of their sovereign right of this country, we have the power. They can kill as many as they can, but at the end of the day, South Sudanese can win that game. At the end of the day, they can kill as much as they want. But at the end of the day, South Sudanese can win and dethrone this government and install a new government that can be called a government of the people and for the people and by the people. But with this status, we are not going anywhere. The children are in abroad, living in a luxury life, studying in a very good school, but 90% of South Sudanese majority, they are living in a very precarious situations where they have no access to clean water, access to education, access to medical care, and all these things. They are not doing this because they know that the children are getting the best treatment, the best education, and the best living condition abroad. But in Juba, it's like I can refer it like when you are in the village. Sometime during the winter time, you go for fishing expedition. You don't do anything. You just go and put your net inside the river. You just can have a blanket or something. You don't do something, but you can have a lot of fish, but you cannot build something. At the end of your time, you can go back home where you are. This is exactly what is happening with our politicians. They are in Juba to loot the money and go and stack the loots outside the country. They're building big mansions outside the country, but not inside the country. So if South Sudanese come together and unite against this regime, we can be able to remove them and get a new government.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can stop here.
Yeah, Niall, thank you. Niall Galwak. It's really an honor to have you, brother, in the show. Yes, like I said from the beginning, they have a systematic, target. They were calling a non-gunman in Juba and later expanded. You see what happened in Lagos State. And later you have the Nadapuga, Naga, Aguag, they are dying there. They tried a little bit in northern Barkazal, but they couldn't. And also expanded, all across the country. They start targeting the board. And now finally they targeted those of Awil Shabab, in Juba. And now they start targeting the Shuluk, So they are coming one by one. And I said this long. It's not about the Dinka. But the thing is, a lot of people in South Sudan, they don't understand. They would think, oh, the Dinka, then where? But they don't know. Those mafia, those thugs group in Juba, they know what they're doing. They know their game. Their game is to go after anyone that's making noise. You are making noise, you from Awil, okay, we will target you. You making noise, you from Nuer will target you. They did in 2013. They did it for Bor last couple of months. Now they are doing in Shuluk in Malakal. They are doing a non-gunman in Malakal. You see?
Exactly.
So that's
if you see the proliferation of the small arms guns in the hand of the civilians, the government, the one control of all these things, because there is no a civilian cannot go and buy a weapon. It's only a sovereign government that is legitimate or that is allowed to go and buy. So now they are the one who arm those civilians to kill themselves. And when there is this conflict, it become advantage for them to prolong their ruling system. So for us, it will take a time. It will take an enormous time for us to realize a South Sudan that we have dreamed of. But under their leadership, nothing will materialize. I tell you, my brother, nothing until we come together as South Sudanese.
Yes.
Otherwise.
Always. I said until the lion learn how to write, every story will glorify the hunter, right? That's what if we are not acknowledging what's killing us, if we are not acknowledging who is the real enemy, it's not Nial, it's not Jonkor, it's not Agany, it's not Lado, it's not Galwak. But
our real enemies are in Juba. They're the one in Juba. They're the one holding us
across the board. Realize that, oh, no. My enemy is not my brother Ding. My enemy is that one, the one that's selling the oil and dividing them among themselves. Those are our enemy. Those who created insecurity. Until we learn that, until our people learn that, I know we'll be able. Thank you so much, Galwak.
Like now, the resolution of the national dialogue. Are they going to implement this? It's just they're just buying time. When they compile all these resolution, they'll just come and put them under the desk, forgotten for good.
It happened before. The resolution came out before, and they said, President Kiir, Riek Machar, and this government get out, step down, and allow South Sudan with the new blood to take over. But Kiir took that and put it in Fidurit Fijor and said, no.
It can work because if I am the one appointing the peoples, the steering committee of the national dialogue were nominated by Salva Kiir. So it would be impossible for them to put some resolution that might affect President Kiir or maybe that might affect Riek Machar. So this is an absurd. Somebody cannot think of this. I cannot form a committee to go and talk about something and later on that resolution come against me. It won't work. So whatever resolution that come out of this national dialogue is a mockery. It won't work. Thank you very much, Junker.
Thank you, Niall, for coming on and adding your perspective. I really do appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was Niall Garquat Chuan. I saw you, my brother Samuel. What? But the problem is the network that you have is very weak. If I put you on the studio, I'm worried this is going to disrupt our live broadcast for sure. Because when the computer work harder with that, it might feel like Apple always might feel like there is a virus or something like that. I hope let's hope it's not going to happen, but I'm worried it's going to throw it out of the network. Let me try, but let's cross the finger. This thing is going to work. I hope it's not going to cause problem. I'll give you an opportunity. Go ahead, Samuel. Weigh in.
Okay, John Core, good evening. I'm passing my greeting to all of you and all the viewers of Concerned Citizens, South Sudan. As you did mention, the topic is very clear and we have nothing even to discuss very much. I will just try to put some point in connection to peace agreement and the national dialogue. As you see, John Core, you see, I was very clear from the beginning in some platform that national dialogue is not a right time for us to go for national dialogue, first of all. If we say that we are going for national dialogue, for example, John Core, if you see what the national dialogue is discussing, one, you talk, national dialogue is discussing about devolution of power to lower level of government, which is there in the agreement. National dialogue is talking about reconciliation. It is there in the agreement. National dialogue is talking about justice. It's there in the agreement. National dialogue is talking about many reform, which is all of them, they are there in the agreement. But why are we wasting time talking about all those things in national dialogue when they are there in the agreement? Why don't we implement agreement? But it is very clear that it is just a wasting of time, John Cole. See, if there is a will for us to implement the agreement, if we have a love for our country, we would have implemented that very best agreement that we have at hand. But our people, they don't know what is the importance of country. I try to visit some countries, but when I saw the development in those countries, I cannot even describe my feeling. That's why are we still at that stage when people are moving. We don't have a love for our country, actually. For example, John Koro, in the preamble of the agreement, it talk about inclusivity. See, it talk about the inclusivity. You see, there are some signatory to the agreement that are highlighted now, as you can see. You see, we are missing some members of SOA.
I hope the network will cooperate. Niall, you have a lot of good stuff to say, but the network is
needs a signatory. Is a signatory to the agreement.
Yeah, exactly like what I said. You know, the network is not cooperating because when network is weak, it's not allowing that brother to come, you know, to finish what he wanted to say. But actually, I see that he has a lot of good stuff, you know, to add here. Moses, there, you may send in requests. You may come in. The link is below the live broadcast. You may go ahead and, you know, and click that link, and it should route you here as usual, so we can move along, because we don't want to, you know, do a lot of more time tonight. We will just, you know, soon we will call a day, but I want to get your perspective. As I said, you know, we need to learn. If somebody keep lying to you every day, And you are not saying, no, no, he's not lying. It's not lying. I don't know how to call that. I don't know. You ask yourself, if someone keeps saying thing, وكلام ده ما قاعد يكون صح. وانا ذكرت لكم سنه الفات 8 points. Now رجع لpoint number 1. National dialogue again. The same national dialogue. Instead of implementing peace agreement, but at 2015, they created national dialogue. National dialogue طلب بمقررات إنه the government step aside and allow other people to take care because you failed. You failed to deliver. You failed to create security. You failed to do infrastructure. You failed, to bring unity. So go away. But they took it and they put it away. And they said, oh, we are going to sign another peace agreement, actually, in Khartoum. We are going to go to Rome and talk to Holy Father, Pope. They did. We are calling for national prayers. We did pray. You see, all this, maneuvering around is meant to buy time. That's what President and his colleague do. And yet, people are complicit. They say, oh, no, wallahi, no, that's phony baloney. Don't tell me a man cannot make a decision. No. I am the one hired these people. They work for me. It's not just, see how this, the man with the black hat, how smart he is. He hires people, and actually he's the one that's doing bad. And then, because people are going to know that he's doing bad, it will fire the person that is hired. So people of South Sudan will say, oh, actually, Zoldag Yaokap. And it will continue to do the same, It will hire this and fire this, hire this and fire this, hire this and fire this. Now, who has the problem now? Are the people that he has been hiring, or the person that is hiring people? And there is no change. See? And I keep saying that, African prop, until the lion learn how to write, every story will glorify the hunter. He is the hunter. He will shoot, right? Always, he will shoot, he will loot, he will do whatever. Like in Inter, you are not talking, you are not saying anything. You say, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, he can loot, he can shoot, he can hire, he can fire, he can do whatever, and it is okay. And now, always, he's a hunter. Every story glorify him. And that's what it is. Wallahi nana namal salam, nana namal shunu, nana namal da, and keep lying to you. And you are so adamant and going there. I don't understand. I don't understand. But we have been speaking, and we are keep talking and talking and talking to you. عشان تعرف حق بتاعك. تعرف حق بتاعك. Right? Well, Moses, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, my dear brother. It's been long time, and I apologize. Yes. I supposed to call you a couple of days. It has been difficult for me too, but I'm glad to see you. Welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan.
I salute you, Sir Jonkor. Thank you. We miss you. I know there are a lot of things happening in the family and other issues, but I would like to congratulate you for your campaign for Joe Biden. Before we go to our topic,
we did it.
Yeah, you made it.
We have even Moses. Yani, imagine South Sudanese American in Minnesota, huge number voted. South Sudanese Americans in state of Atlanta, state of Georgia, particularly Atlanta area, the big city of Atlanta, they call it Chocolate City. They voted with numerous, big number. And that's why Joe Biden won that state. That state, 28 years, Democrats has not won that state, but we did. They created a lot of group, even including something called Booty to the Pool. It was so amazing. It was so amazing. So I am glad. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Ustad Jonkor. Once again, I salute you, Ustad Jonkor Mayol, and I greet all our viewers. It is morning time in Australia, and I'm excited. This is a very important topic, As usual in this forum, we discuss important issues. So I would like to start with a quote for our viewers. It says, one of the penalties of refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferior. And it was said by Plato. So what it means here, my fellow citizen of South Sudan, the price of not participating in your country public affairs as a duty of care, as a citizen, the price of it is that you are being ruled by evil men in the country. You are being ruled by weak people, weak leaders, public thieves, selfish leaders who can only divide people, who can only create wars. So people would be busy seeking for peace or reconciliation or seeking for refuge in neighboring countries while they are busy looting the public money, whether the money from oil revenues as the main income for the country of South Sudan, whether the money from non-oil revenues that they are collecting from Numali or airport or in embassies, those who paid for visa to visit South Sudan, this is all non-oil revenue. They are still busy stealing the money while people are busy drowning in the flood or seeking refuge in Uganda, in Kenya. Our people are being abused as refugees in Egypt. And they are looting the public money that they borrow the money in our names, okay, in the name of South Sudan.
Yes.
So the price that you, fellow citizens of South Sudan, are paying is because we are keeping silent. We think that if my uncle is put, then he can eat on our behalf. We think that if my sister is put, she can eat on our behalf. And we have been lied to that this government is a Dinka government, is a good government, but in fact, it has nothing to do with Dinka. It's a crook government, a group of gang that have taken the power and trailed the agenda of liberation from addressing the major problem of South Sudan, which is the underdevelopment of South Sudan. In all aspects, South Sudan is underdeveloped nation. And the sad thing is, we are underdeveloped nation, a landlocked, surrounded with some bad neighbors. That cannot be a good example for South Sudan to follow. If you are a parent, if you have bad neighbors, your kid will always be spoiled if you are not careful. So these dictators of Yori Museveni, Salva Kiir is copying them. Salva Kiir want to rule for 30 years until he died in the power.
Yeah.
Our brother, Dr. Riek Machar, is handicapped. His hands are tied at the back. He cannot change Salva Kiir. You cannot change somebody who appoints you by presidential decree. Yes, Dr. Riek has succeeded. He was sacked and he was put back in his position, which that is all what he was fighting for. I know Dr. Riek has good intention to change things, but I don't think he can change the regime of President Kiir. He will not change it. Yes, he has succeeded to put his wife as the Minister of Defense, but what can his wife do? His wife will never change the military intelligence of Salva Kiir. His wife will never change anyone in Tiger Army, that is the special army of President Kiir, who rapes women and young girls in hotels, including the current head of Tiger, the general that is responsible for Tiger Lwal. Just recently, last week, he raped a very young girl from Twij Mayadit, and he ran to Nairobi. So Riek Machar and his peace it has ended since the time he was put back as the first vice president. Since the time his wife was put back as the Minister of Defense, since the time his son-in-law is put the Minister of Petroleum to be his spoon for him to compensate himself the money he has lost during the 2013 and 2016 war. So, and to put few loyalists in the government. But in fact, Dr. Riak has no power. So I knew from day one, when they accepted to give Dr. Riak 3 positions, the Minister of Defense and Petroleum and First Vice President, then that was the end of peace.
So,
it's finished.
Moses, there is in a new development story too. So the former Minister of Finance, Salvatore Garang he knocked Kurajing teeth down.
It actually is the opposite.
Oh yeah.
Salvatore was beaten by Kurajing in Dubai, one of the hotels in Dubai.
So what is the deal? What's going on here?
Look, this is what we've been saying here in South Sudan, concerned South Sudan, concerned citizen of South Sudan, and you've been preaching this for years. And we talk about 4 evils in the United Concerned Citizen, including corruption, mismanagement, and war.
Lack of services.
One of the major problems that people don't address, whether you have peace signs by Dr. Riak or Soma, or whether you talk about national dialogues, people have been deceived by President Kiir and his group. They are not actually telling the people the exact number of the oil produced per day. Yes, they are telling us in the budget, in the National Ministry of Finance, that South Sudan is producing 180,000 barrels per day. If you multiply that times 365 days per year, will give you the quantity of the oil that we consider in the budget, times the price of oil right now during coronavirus is $45, 45 US dollars. It will give you 2.9 billion US dollars. That's the national income of South Sudan. But that's not the exact amount, the quantity. There's certain quantity that is given to President Kiir that the South Sudanese people don't know. Wow. And that certain quantity is used by President Kiir and his group to maintain power, to bribe people. All these people, including Uncle Yaba, Angelo Beda, of the leader of National Dialogue, he has been bribed. He's been given a lot of money. And I don't think this time they will come up with the first recommendation in 2015 when they start the National Dialogue. That Kiir must step down. This time they will not come up with that resolution.
No.
So let me tell you this. There was a quantity of oil that was allocated to this businessman called Kurajing with the Salvatore Garang. As I've been telling people, Ajama, Salvatore Garang was used as a spoon by President Kiir to eat the government and to compensate the so-called REC government, which is, I don't believe there are so many REC who are suffering. There are so many people in Warab who are suffering from Kiir. If you oppose Kiir, you will be excluded, even if you are from Awan and if you are from Kwaj. But there are certain people from Apuk and Kwaj and Awan that are really connected, the good boys and good girls. And one of them was Salvatore Garang. Salvatore Garang was with us here in Melbourne. He was working as a community interpreter. He has nothing to do with the economics of South Sudan. He doesn't understand how to manage the economy of a country. Somebody working here with Centrelink Social Security as a community interpreter. I have worked in IOM in Cairo as a community interpreter, and I have worked in Canadian High Commission in Cairo as a community interpreter and paid $10 per hour. And I worked there for 3 years in Egypt. that cannot qualify me to be a national minister of finance.
No.
In the case of President Kiir, he doesn't care whether his relative is qualified or not, as long the relative is trusted and can loot the money, the national money, for their interest to maintain the power for so many years to come. He will appoint you. This guy used to play Dumana here in a place called Foskri.
In Melbourne.
Salvatore Garamabor, 24 hours playing Dominus. He has never worked a decent work, nothing to do with economics. So when he was appointed as a minister of finance, because he's from Kwaj, to secure to loot the public money and then give them to the inner circle of President Kiir. He managed to do that. So he gave unlawful contract to Kurajing and other so-called South Sudanese business. They are given a lawful contract to take certain amount of oil illegally to send it to Dubai and sell it. And the group that is doing this is Tutkeo, Kurajing, and Salvatore Karamobodit, plus many others. So they sell certain quantity of oil that is not included in what is told in public.
Daily product. It's not included in the daily product. Okay.
Yes. So the certain quantity that is not included in the budget, or sometimes it's not even mentioned, is taken to Dubai and sold there, and then they divided the money. When that quantity, they gave Tutkeo his money, and they gave Deng Mointuil his money, the governor.
Yeah.
And other people, including Uncle Kiir, got his percentage. Everybody got his percentage, except Salvatore. Because Kurajing knows how to play his cards in Juba as a businessman, like Makir guy and other fake business people, like this uncle from South Sudan Hotel, with a Khurfab Tijarel, that was forcing traders to reduce prices. I don't see this more. So, they mind Gulta, when the two thieves disagree on what they have stolen, actually what is stolen will be known. لما يختلف اللسان فيظهر شنو؟
المسروق.
المسروق يظهر المسروق. فكوراجين Salvatore sal Gurusho من Kurajing, and then Kurajing marginalize him or ignore him because he's already an ex-finance minister. Kur want to bribe Atian to continue to give him unlawful contracts. Because this is how they have looted the public money through unlawful contracts. So people start punching each other. Salvatore started punching, and then this guy, of course, is stronger than Salvatore. He paid bucks. Now it's a case. So the owner of the hotel and those who the crooks that sell the oil in Dubai interfere. And you know, Arabs, they are good to cover.
Yeah. They don't want everything to explode. That's the secret of the trade.
Yeah, so it is a true story. And it is God of South Sudan is fighting for the people to expose things. And we know so many cases of this, like this happen in Uganda and Kenya, but they are sealed because Uganda is their J1, Kenya is their J1. They will not come out. But in Middle East, Arabs, they are good. They can cover up things, but things can come up sometimes.
Out of hand, yes.
Yes. So they are fighting over stolen national money or oil money that belong to the people. The poor SPLA, the poor orphans, the poor wounded soldiers, the poor South Sudanese that are suffering in Juba, the poor Dinka that have been deceived that this is the government of Dinka, while Dinka are the #1 beggars in Juba. This is your money that is been is stolen, and this is not this is a daylight robbery. The money is being stolen, and people are watching because people are afraid. Because these people have guns, they can kill you. But this is what I can say. the peace agreement has died since the day Dr. Riek accepted 3 positions. Since he accepted to be the vice president, that was good. It's part of the deal. But when he accepted to allow his wife to be the Minister of Defense and his son-in-law to be the Minister of Petroleum and another mother-in-law to be a Minister of Health, that was the end of the peace agreement. Because Kiir managed to give Dr. Riek his lion share to silence him. That one influenced him not to think about even security arrangement, not to think about the force to be brought in first. Okay, so Kiir has managed now to give some part of barrels, Baramil, Tajas, Leriak to silence him. And this business is working. His business is booming as Ezekiel wholesale. Ezekiel
crude oil, everything is okay.
Yeah, so Uncle Dr. Riek Machar, his percentage of barrels is selling them in Dubai, and he's quite happy with the arrangement. Fibet Bato, first vice president living in one house, with the Minister of Defense living in one house, and Minister of Petroleum living in one house. Why? To try to have these all bodyguards to protect them in one place. So if there is any attack, they can defend themselves, because the man has no power in Juba. As in Egypt, Uras bata Marabto, Uras bata Wallet Bato, Uras Bato, at least we couldn't feel 6 toucher at least. Or come to Shikat Kira to make them run to the neighboring borders if there is anything happening at night. So that's why they have to live in one house, all of them. For when people are still thinking there is peace in Juba, I really question their analysis, because even Nuer themselves that were deceived that we're fighting Dinka because they have killed us, they are not. They have been deceived. Yes, Nuer were killed in 2013, which is against human rights. We all want Salva Kiir to be taken to International Criminal Court. I want President Kiir to be taken to ICC. And having said that, however, also I want Dr. Riek to be taken to ICC court. Dr. Riek is not innocent. He's not innocent. None of these big SPLM leaders are innocent. They are all guilty. So the issue of national dialogue, John Corey, you have mentioned very important things, and I'm happy to say a few things, and you can ask me, and I would like to give other contributors to contribute to this discussion. National dialogue.
Today, though, the question of today, I'm saying that now the government abandoned the peace agreement and back to national dialogue deceptions, which is they did before. They have a result, and they are not abide by it. They refuse. So now, what I'm asking people of South Sudan, especially the younger generation, if someone keep lying to you every single day, over and over and over again, and you are not making up your mind, what does that mean? What does that tell you? This is the very important message that our people. Last year I talked about 8 points. Now Salva Kiir went back, and then they become 9 points. That point actually with the number 8, they are the same. So he ran out of deception now. He has been deceiving people, but it doesn't have Mafi Latani. That's why they went back to avoid this peace agreement, because it was not meant to be implemented in a way. When they signed it, they signed it on tactical base. It was not a strategy from the strategical, point. It was tactical to get them in, and after they get them in, put him in that confinement there in Juba. He cannot even go to Malakal. He cannot even go to Rang. Have you seen Riek Machar visited any town in South Sudan since he flew to Juba finally?
He never even visited his own people of Jongole that are droning.
That's what I'm saying. It was meant not to be implemented. So now, if Salva Kiir for the last 15 years with his cliques, they did not deliver services. They create instability, insecurity, so people can be worried about their lives, not to think about service delivery. No infrastructure, nothing in the country. Okay, and then they created war, and they say, "Oh, we are bringing peace agreement." And they are the one that creating it. So, what does that tell people of South Sudan, Moses?
You know, our people have good heart. They have good intention. And what I can tell people is that we have misplaced our loyalty and our trust on people who are cheating us, who are lying to us every year, and they are not caring about our future, the future of the young South Sudanese, the future of women, the future of everybody. What they care is them being in power for the rest of their life. When they only fight, there's a say in Juba. بقول SPLM ديل لما يشاكلوا الناس بموتوا لما يتفقوا بياكلوا قروش ناس. SPLM, whether you call it SPLM of Kir or Riek Machar or SPLM A to Z, when they agree, they will eat your public money, whether the oil money, the non-oil revenue, the loans money in your name. They will eat them when they agree, like now in the so-called peace revitalized peace agreement. And when they disagree, they will kill you, like what happened in 2013 and 2016 in J1. So this is the nature of the political party that is ruling the country. That nature will never change. As long they agree, whether you call it revitalized peace agreement, whether you call it national dialogue, or whatever name that will come in the future, when they agree, they divide the oil revenue among themselves. Nasemshi idugobat fi hotelat fi Dubai. That's what they are doing, because they are united now. They are eating your money. Okay? But when they disagree, you will be running as a refugee, and they will be shooting innocent people. In J1 war, I was in J1, during J1, I was in Juba. I was in South Sudan Hotel. Okay? Between South Sudan Hotel in Bullock and J1 is very close distant. I can hear the fighting. We were sitting. When change part, one of our people say a change part. So I waited in the hotel until it finishes, and then I walked to Qatar, where in Khiada. I live there. So when this SPLA government unite, they will eat our public money. They will not build roads, school, hospital, all the social services that we need, that the young people need, the employment, the salaries will not be considered. As long they are happy with the peace, or whatever they call, what they mean by peace is peace between Kir and Riek Machar. For Kir, peace means anyone who is opposing him. If he can convince you to come in and not take him as a president, but take any position, that's what peace means for President Kir. But for you and me, young South Sudanese, peace for us means schools, roads, food on the table, clean water, and security.
Yes.
So we can not kill ourselves, as Agar are killing themselves in Rumbeks, and other people are killing themselves everywhere. And people are dying from pollution in Molut and in Ruweng and in all the Bantu, all the oil production area, whether it belongs to Nuer or Cholok or Dinka, they are all affected. Their livelihood is affected by the environment, by the pollution of the oil. This government does not care about fixing all this environment. As long Riek is not shooting people and they have done ceasefire, they are looting the government, the public money, and they are happy, and they call it peace because they are not shooting each other. But for us, we the people, why would we trust a system that is looting our public money?
We have people too who have been mind poisons. Look what David Gatkeg is saying here. Simply because we talk about Riek Machar, Khalas, we are not the good people. So actually, they have selective. When it comes to issue of South Sudan, they want to have selective. They have grouping. So when
you want me to blame Kir and not to blame Riek Machar.
I want you to
That's all politics.
Kir.
I will not
I
buy
cannot
it.
blame Riek. I can blame this and I cannot blame that. So these are the kind of people that we want them to understand, because they don't understand what it means to be a nation and a country. If you say something, Riek actually is doing wrong thing because he actually did. This peace was not genuine in first place. They would say, no. This is the Dinkanization. Why are you talking? They want to tie me with something that actually I don't belong to. You know how we can liberate this people's mind. This is
what we are doing, Jonkor. We will keep preaching the truth. There's nothing that is important than truth. The truth is more important than Dr. Riek Machar. The truth is more important than Salva Kiir.
Yes.
The truth is more important than Uncle General Thomas Chirilo or Bagan or Lamakol or Malung. The truth is more important than any politician that some of our young people think they are the future of the country. They liberated the country. Therefore, we need to compensate them with the country to rule forever while they are mismanaging the public wealth. And they are they promote corruption in the country. They want everybody to be a thieves, even those who are working. They don't give them salaries so people can steal. So everybody would be a thieves. So nobody will be saying you are a thieves. and this is what they are doing. So my dear brothers and sisters,
they don't see from different angles. You know, they see one way and they just want to stuck with that one way. No, يعني النظام بتاع خروفان. لأنه خروفان, the reason hyena eat them because they don't have any other plan, because they see the danger. It is so dangerous to them, but they still going forward until they are all gone. We can
our people need to understand. They say that the rights of every person are threatened if the rights of one person is abused or is threatened. So these are the politicians, the philosophers of the world, like Plato and like Abraham Lincoln. Those who knows how politics work. They say that if one Nuer is being abused, the whole South Sudanese are being abused.
Correct.
If one Cholo is being abused, the whole South Sudanese are being abused. If one Dinka is being abused, if one Equatorian, if one Partid or Kresh or Zande is abused in Western Barakazar and killed, the whole South Sudan is being killed. This is the reason why we come here and talk. I'm not interested to come and praise President Kiir because he's Dinka, because he fought for 21 years, or praise Dr. Riek Machar because he revenged and fought against Kiir for the killing of Nuer, or because he was a founder of the SPLM. I'm not here, or Jonkor is not here. We in United Concerned Citizens, we are not psychopaths. We think, we analyze the situation, we will give you and tell you the truth. It is up to you to judge. If you want to continue to suffer, in the name that if Riek is eating with his family, then all Nuer is good, everything is perfect in Nuer land, then I will not buy that cheap politics, and that is ignorance. And one of the great philosophers say that the roots of all evil is ignorance. So the roots of all evil is ignorance. We will say the truth because I believe the truth is more important than Riek Machar. The truth is more important than President Kiir. And then any politician that some of our young people that have been brainwashed think they are the future. The future of South Sudan is in our hand, Jonkor and the young people.
Absolutely.
These so-called our liberators, they are now our oppressors.
They are.
Okay, they are our oppressors. So if there is anyone who think that we are touching Dr. Riek, I'm sorry, who will touch him until he come back to his sen.
Yep.
Because what is happening in national dialogue is a copy of revitalized peace agreement. They just copy what Riek has signed and put it in the national dialogue, and we will talk about it later. So there's no new invention in Juba. The people just need to understand peace for Riek Machar.
They just want to buy time. This is what
peace for Riek Machar. Yeah, peace for Riek Machar is him to go back to be a first vice president. That's it. But the question is Yes, President Kiir has put you back as a first vice president. What have you changed now in Nuer, in Law Nuer? Did you build any clinic, one single clinic in Law Nuer, to treat the children, or any school in Law Nuer, those White Army, J. Mabur? What have you offered White Mabur, Dr. Riak Machar, let alone the other Nuer in other places? I'm not talking about the Fertit now. They are moving away. Tinga has left the IO, and people are leaving IO. And these Nuer people have a reason to leave IO, because IO is not serving the interests of Nuer nor the interests of South Sudanese. They are just there to secure their position and to put the psychopaths that support them. Those psychopaths will never do any political reforms, will never reform any economy. They will never address economic crisis, the bankruptcy of central bank. They will never deal with the unknown gun women and unknown gunmen at night, because they don't even have the army in Juba. What are you talking about? Riak is living under the mercy of Dr. General Salva Kiir. So, and Dr. Salva Kiir is living under the mercy of military intelligence, MI, and Tigers. There's nothing else. So our people need to know. We need to withdraw our support from SPLM, leave IO, leave SPLM in G, and form your own political parties. Go and protest. Protest has so many forms. You can be in the government position and you don't do the job. Yeah, let them do what they want to do. And people have started in Juba University. They are protesting. This is not just a matter of a school fee that has been raised. No, this is how protests started all over the world, in Egypt, in South America, everywhere. Protests start in Sudan. Protests started with the price of bread being increased. So need to graduate from this mentality that I will support Riak because he's a Nuer. Graduate from this mentality that I will support Lama Akol because he's from Sholo. Graduate from this mentality that I will support Thomas Chirillo because he's from Equatoria and we Equatorian are marginalized. Uncle Thomas Chirillo is also a public thief like Riak, like President Kiir. Do you know how much money Thomas Chirillo has taken when he left Juba? I was there, and Chief of Defense Force James Ajong Amot was there. And I used to play chess with Chief James Ajong Amot before he died. Thomas Chirillo took 10 million US dollars when he left Juba. 10 million US dollars. So he's not innocent. So don't support people because they are Equatorian or Dinka or Nuer. Support the truth. The truth is this: South Sudan belongs to all of us. All the national resources of South Sudan belong to all of us. They can put the food on table for all South Sudanese. They can put our kids in a school. They can buy medicine if we are sick. They can build roads for us. They can build network, whether railway or any infrastructure. We can do it with this money. With this money, God did not put the oil there just for this group of SPLM to live on them and exclude the rest of the citizen. This is the truth that we are talking about. The truth is that it is not Kalanchinkov of Thomas Chirillo when he was fighting in Amashkore or in Eastern Sudan. It is not Kalanchikov of Salva Kiir when he was fighting. It is not Kalanchikov of Riek Machar. It is not Kalanchikov of Pagana Mo that has liberated South Sudan alone. It is the truth is that it is the ordinary citizen that used to give their cattle, their goats, their sheep, their sorghum, their simsim, their groundnuts to SPLA to survive for 21 years. That is the truth. The truth is that we the people financed the war for 21 years when there were no salaries for SPLA soldiers, when there was no food for Kiir and Riek Machar. And you have seen how skinny Salva Kiir was. And
despite the guy here asked a question, actually, I would answer you very quick, Ken Garang. Of course, Riek Machar asked before to, even when there was a disagreement regarding Ulang not not coming to Juba. He asked actually President that he can go to visit, but he was prevented. He has been prevented. He wanted to go even Juba, Khartoum. He want to go in a lot of places, but he has been prevented. So keep in mind, the peace agreement was not genuine and it will never be implemented because we know exactly what Kir thinking when they moved the venue from Addis Ababa to Khartoum. And that's why we said since day one, it was not genuine. They brought him from confinement to another confinement. That's it. They were squeezed with the international community. They didn't want to go through that hardship. They were going to fail. That's why they legitimize themselves by telling international community, we are going to sign a deal. Please, we need your support. You remember when the trader said that, okay, we will watch you, but we want you to put $100 million in the bank account and we will support you. What happened? Did government of South Sudan put $100 million? They did not, because they knew they were just joking. There is no peace agreement. Yes. So Riek Machar tried in numerous times to visit different places in South Sudan, but he has been prevented. Continue.
Riek cannot move. Riek cannot move because even President Kiir cannot move. Did you see President Kiir visiting the victims of the IDPs in Mangala? Did you see Dr. Riek going to visit in Mangala? Do we have rebels in Mangala? Why are they not going to see those suffering IDPs, internal displaced people by flood? It's just a matter of few hours from J1.
Exactly.
I want to see Dr. Riek.
Keep asking me a question. Why blaming Riek Machar? Riek Machar is the chairman and CNC of the SPLM-IO. He has the last say. When we say that peace agreement was not genuine, it's not going to be implemented, he said, no, let's give it a try. Why would you give it a try? You are a leader. Why would you give something a try and you are not sure that is going to be implemented? You got to make sure this is the right thing that we are going to do.
Yes.
He fell. We have to admit it. David got kicked. We have to admit it. Riek Machar fell, actually. Like leader fell. So why so bitter, to hear that truth?
We will say the truth. Whether you like it or not, it's up to you. Riek has failed. Kiir has failed. Waniga has failed. All these big SPLM that are in Juba, they have failed the people of South Sudan. They are just there to sign peace for themselves, between themselves, and loot the public money. The loans money, they are borrowing money in our names. They're taking them. They're taking oil money as they're fighting in Dubai. They're taking non-oil revenue as the money of non-oil revenue goes to President Kiir account. These people are not thinking about your future, your kid's future, or the future of South Sudan. They are now planning of where to run to, whether to run to Eritrea or somewhere around the world to secure their retirement. That's what is in their mind. They are not thinking of building good hospital in Longwear land. People were killed by Ugandans, army, and killed by the organized army militias of President Kiir. They are not thinking of how to compensate those poor Nuer in UNIMIS. UNIMIS is feeding our own people in the capital city. Right now in Juba, if you have 5 kids and you can't feed yourself, it is UNIMIS that is feeding our citizens of South Sudan in the capital city of Juba. Even people in J1, the bodyguards of Tiger, were fed by the rice from China. I was there when China donated rice. It was given to the national ministers of parliament instead of the poor citizen of South Sudan. So even the rice that come from China is not reaching the poor South Sudanese people who need it, the people that were in the heart of Chinese to be given rice. They went and distributed the rice to Tutkel, the guy who was working in black market $1. And they went and give the rice to all the national ministers and all the director generals, all the undersecretaries, even in Wazarat, even in my Minister of Finance, they brought rice. I did not get it. Only the ministers, the deputy ministers, the undersecretaries. So the rice that is given from by China to help the poor South Sudanese in Juba was taken also. So these people are taking even the rice, let alone the oil money. What are they going to leave for you people? What can they give you? Even this poor rice they John Corinto Loshuk to rice Taban. They were fighting over the rice. They're fighting over the money. They're fighting over everything. Okay, the land grabbed. So these people are heartless. They are not nationalists. They don't really care about the people. People need to understand this. You need to go out there on the street, withdraw your support, protest against this government. They will go. They will go. And I'm happy Joe Biden is here. Joe Biden will not turn a blind eye on human rights abuses. And soon, personalized sanction will be applied. And I will be so glad to see Salva Kiir being sanctioned as an individual. All these ministers and public thieves in Juba,
they will be working on
will be sanctioned and
transformation.
And any human rights abuse that they are doing now will be recorded, and they will pay the price for it. So our people need to know, anywhere that is in the government is not for Nuer people, it's for himself. Any Dinka that is with Kiir is not for Dinka people, it's for themselves. The same thing with other tribes. So let's not be deceived. Let's not lie. Let me tell you one example. A few weeks ago, Fi Fanana Kida Sudania was arrested in Khartoum airport with $300,000 US. Gam Salo into Egypt to Grudem and when Galan Egypt in Juba.
Yeah.
Munada
something Jabal, Aisha Jabal or something like that.
Yeah.
Jabal Aulia.
So Tutkel gave her $300,000 US.
While people are hungry in South.
While how many Nuer need that $300,000?
That will feed thousands of people.
Yes, and Tutkel went and bought a house in Riyadh. You know Riyadh?
I do.
With 1.5 million US cash. This is oil money.
You know, Moses Malish, the thing is, like now, we are discussing issue of the country. We don't care whether you are Nuer, whether you are Dinka, whether you are Lotuka, whether you are Riek Machar, you are Kir, you are whatever. We have to talk the facts. But look, like this guy, from intellectual perspective, he knows that we are talking about the issue of South Sudan. He is tying us to the Dinka. He is tying us to a tribe. So look, this is what, bringing South Sudanese back. This is what holding them back. Because we want to get out from that tribal sentiments, and come on the national level and focus on the national level. But like those like David Gatkek say, oh, you're tribal, you are dead tribal, you are what does our talking here has to do with our tribe? What does what you're saying and what I'm saying here has to do with the Dinka or with the Nuer or with the Shilluk? We are talking about the issue. We are talking about the future of the issue. We are talking about injustice in the country, insecurity in the country. People, claim to be intellectual, but they are far from being intellectual at all. They don't want to leave tribe out of it. This is what's holding us back.
Gandhi said that education without character is useless.
Yeah. See, I'm so sorry for such a people.
If you cannot say the truth, people go to school or education to learn how to think. Jonkor went to universities, and other people that share ideas in concerned citizen, they went to universities to learn how to think. So we are not here to be taught what to think. We will not buy that me to be tied just to talk about Dinka or to talk about. No,
it's not gonna happen.
We are
bigger than Dinka. We are bigger than Dinka. We are bigger than Shilluk. We are bigger than Nuer.
Yes.
So we must talk about South Sudan. And if someone out there try to bring us down by tying you to Nuer or to the Dinka or to Latuka, don't accept it, because those actually, they don't know what they're doing. Del Masakin. There's another kind of when Jesus was crucified in the cross, what did he say to those who crucified him? He said,
God forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing.
Yeah, David exactly doesn't know what he's doing, because he's dragging himself to the mud that we don't want to be in that mud, and that's bad. He tried to tie the politics with the tribe, which is we rejected totally. We
have rejected that, and this is why Kiir has been in power for 15 years, because they are using ignorance to get supporters, Fijesh, to say this Akuma that they are fighting against Dinka because we Dinka we are ruling. So Nuer is against Dinka. You Dinka come and protect the government. This is a lie. I don't care if the army is if somebody is coming to fight President Kiir. I will not support Kiir because he's a Dinka. No. And second thing is this: we in concerned citizen, United Concerned Citizen, we don't hate people. We love Riak. We love Kiir. We reject only the bad political practices.
Yep, and their characters.
If I meet Riak today, I will greet him. If I meet President Kiir today, I will greet him. I will not kill him. I will defeat Riak and Kiir by ideas, by voting, by elections. Yes, I know SPLM always steal election. Like the last election was stolen. For example, we all know that Taban lost election in unity, and Kiir stole the election for his for Taban. We know Kwal Manyang lost election, and George Ator won, and George Ator went to be a rebel because of that corruption in election. We know Paul Malong even lost in Awil. So we know the corruption. There's never going to be a fair election unless you kick out this government. They will steal the election. And I know some people like generational exit. They believe that when we go for election, Kir will go. No, he will steal the election. The best way is him to go, like I said. Okay, him to go completely to fall. So we get the right Nuer people with a good brain and national interest in their heart. We get the right Equatorian with the national agenda in their heart, not tribal agenda, not tribal federalism. We will get the right Dinka, the right any tribe with a great mindset, national agenda for South Sudan, national development, not tribal development, not dividing the people and ruling, not grabbing people land, not stealing public money in the name that this is a country we fought for, we have liberated this country. These are all lies. It is lie. If I ask Dr. Riak or President Kiir, was 98% of the votes
Maybe
that voted, voted.
David,
Let me just finish this job. The question is this to Kiir and to Riak and any SPLM that think that he liberated South Sudan, was 98% of the referendum vote South Sudanese voted for secession of South Sudan. That 98% of the referendum, was it only the vote of Dr. Riak or President Kiir? That no. You add those two votes to give you 98%.
I know.
Is that that's what you are telling us? Okay, are you telling us that it is these people, these top SPLM leaders that were capturing all the towns in 21 years? Is that what you believe, that you've been brainwashed, that they are commanders? Some of them, they never captured any country, any town. I know. I have brothers who died in the war. Some of my own brothers, own blood brothers, who have died.
Thank
you see, many of them. I have 9 uncles. They have died. My 3 brothers. So many. So it is the blood of our own people.
Yes.
Plus the vote of referendum that the people put their vote that gave us South Sudan. It's not a stupid SPLM. Public thieves. We can't give them credit for 15 years and we want to continue to give them more 15 years. No way. We will come here tell the truth that these people must step down. Kiir must step down. If they care about the people, then I will know that Kiir loves the country. If he step down tomorrow and says, South Sudanese, I apologize. We have created unnecessary war within the party and we have taken it to the level of the nation. And it has divided the people. It has created hatred and mistrust among all tribes. So, Jankor, I can tell those comments, they are coming from these seats and of Riyadh and Dr.
The
General
poison,
Salva
yeah,
Kiir.
they have poisoned people of South Sudan. With
Yes,
this
there's
tribal government, yes.
there's mistrust and hatred that has been created by SPLM.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can see, you think this tribe is against me, this tribe is against. No, it's just the seed of hatred and mistrust that has been created between us and among us as the South Sudanese. We are good people. I know so many great Equatorians. I know so many great Nuer. I
Yeah.
know so many great Cholo. And all my life, I am with Shuluk, I'm with the Nuer, I'm with the Dinka, I'm with any tribe in Wow. So I will never buy these cheap politics that only few SPLM leaders liberate the country. That's a lie.
Exactly.
Then you don't need to compensate them to rule for 30 years because they fought. You need to tell them, thank you, your names will be in history. Okay? And this is what we need the country to move on with the national plan, national vision for 50 years, 20 years, 30 years. We are not just talking about 3 years election during revitalized peace agreement.
No.
And then after 3 years, people shoot each other. Then they negotiate for another 2 years. And then they give another transitional period for 4 years. This is a never-ending musalsala.
Yeah.
This series of...
yeah.
So let's talk about national dialogues, and I will give other people a chance.
Yeah, no problem.
And I will conclude later. I was expecting Dengit to be here and other comrades to put their inputs.
I think maybe he has some issue with the network today. That's why not yet. But you know, I would like to say something to my brother. Nothing personal here in this program. And actually, I get happy when someone try to tie me with the tribe and this, so they give me a reason to talk, to educate more people who are thinking that way, because this is the problem in our country. Because we need, our people to understand. Yeah, like now when my brother, David Gerkek, when he came in and said, "Oh well, you are not talking about those corrupt, engineers, Dinka corruption." He mentioned actually Kurajing. It's because you came late. Actually, we did talk about Kurajing, how Kurajing knocked, Garama Beauty teeth.
Yeah.
But you came late, because you came late to the program. You did not hear all the episode, what we were talking about. But keep in mind, we are for the nation. We are for the national issues. We are not here for Nuer or for Dinka or for Latuka or for Bari. No, if someone tried to tie us to that narrow,
we'll not accept that.
We will not accept that.
We'll not accept that.
No matter whatever you say that your own tribe, you are not talking about your own tribe. Well, I have been an advocate. I have been called even by the Dinkas that I am a betrayal. Those who don't understand, they call me that name, but and I accepted, and I said, okay, that's fine, because I know I did not betray any tribe. I did not betray anyone, but I care about South Sudan. And if you think that's the politics, we will work, to liberate you on that until you come to the center, because we want South Sudanese to be in the center. We don't want regionalism or clans or tribal. It's not going to take us anywhere. It's going to keep, pushing us back and back. And the other countries are moving and developing. Insecurity in our country must be brought to the end, because we have a potential, in tourism, in agriculture, in all this, economic opportunity that we have. Tourism in South Sudan, it can really, really, really save
improve the livelihood of the people.
Yes, of the people. And the capital for that, capital Rasmal Bitao, is the security. Because if people of South Sudan are more secure, anyone would like to come to South Sudan and spend money, stay in a hotel, buy food, go to national park, spend money. And who is going to be beneficial? The people of South Sudan. So let's move away from this, tribal, thing. It's not going to help. It's not going to help. It will destroy, because President Kiir and others, they engineer this, they break this social fabric, and they continue to do so they can remain in power. Because the only way they survive when they divide. That's how they operate.
Yes.
Yes.
I thank you.
Go ahead. I give you an opportunity so we can move on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thank you for clarifying those, misconception that has been there in some people's minds, some less understanding people's minds. we are not here to promote our personal agenda or personal interests. As Jonkor and I don't need a school. My kids don't need a school. The same with Jonkor. The same with other members. The same with Kurkuju. The same with other people that contributed here. World Deng Attack and all others. Abdallah and all comrades who contribute in Consent South Sudan. South Sudan. We are not here for our self-interest. We are here to be the voice, the true voice of the people of South Sudan. By being a responsible citizen. I have South Sudanese passport and nationality. That is a duty. We don't talk only about rights. What the duty, one of the duty as a South Sudanese is to change the government that is killing my people, that is stealing the resources of the country, instead of utilizing and investing that resources in the people, so the people can protect the land and invest, develop the nation. They are doing the opposite. That's why we are coming here. None of us need a school. None of us need food on the table. None of us need salaries from Juba. We don't. We are just doing it from our hearts. This is what I believe as a true South Sudanese that can stand up for the truth. And if that is paining you, if that is making you angry for me telling the truth, I don't care. Go to God, go to anywhere, complain. I don't care. Go to the devil. I don't care. It's up to you. Go and complain anywhere. I'm not going to allow my people to be beggars. Dinka and Nuer and everybody are beggars. And people are refugees in Uganda, Kenya, in Egypt, being abused. People who should respect us are disrespecting us because of these SPLM top leaders. People who should really have good trade with us and respect mutual interests, they are now exploiting us. Like Kenyans. How can they exploit you, Ajonkor? I've never been to Kenya. How can they exploit us?
Me too, I never been to Kenya.
Because we have weak leaders. That's why we have been exploited. And everything rise and fall in any country based on a leader. So we are not just talking from nowhere. We know what we are talking about. We have seen it. Myself, I was in Juba for 3 years working in the National Ministry of Finance. So nobody told me hate Riek or Kir. No. Nobody told me be opposition. Nobody told me fight, a good fight to help to talk on behalf of your people. It's what I have seen and experienced for 3 years that made me to make my own decision to be against Salva Kiir, to be against anyone, whether Riek or Thomas Cirillo. If they are not doing the right thing, if they are not doing the right thing in the country, I will come and stand and say this is wrong. I don't hate them as human beings, but I reject their ideas, their political programs. I reject their political practice. I reject their corruption. And we in the United Consent Citizen, we will not accept to be put in a tribal box.
Tribal basket.
We will not accept that. So let me go back to national dialogue. National dialogue, Jonkor, you have mentioned something very important. That will be my point of discussion. I will elaborate more on that. In Arusha, SPLM were invited to go to Tanzania.
Yeah.
Okay. To do what?
Reunify.
Reconciliation. National dialogue is all about reconciliation. All right. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's okay.
If national dialogue is all about reconciliation, for what? For the hatred and mistrust that the SPLM government has created among people. That's why why do we need reconciliation in the SPLM party and in the national dialogue? Why? Because there is hatred.
The SPLM party is the one that need national dialogue, not people of South.
Yes.
People of South.
That's the point that I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Arusha has failed to create a dialogue and reconciliation within a political party, which is SPLM, Do you think the people, national dialogue will succeed? For national dialogue to succeed, the SPLM leaders, Pagan, Thomas Chirillo, Paul Malongawan, with the exception of Nas and Matos, La Cosara de Georgia Tordel, anyone that's called himself a liberator in SPLM, they should go to Juba and reconcile and write one letter and give a public apology to the people of South Sudan on behalf of one SPLM. That we, the SPLM political party, we have let down the people of South Sudan. We have wasted 15 years in fighting among ourselves within the party. We have looted your public money for 15 years. We have created hatred and mistrust among all tribes of South Sudan. We are sorry, people of South Sudan, forgive us. If they do that, the people will have easy national dialogues to forgive each other. But if SPLM cannot do that, we are just wasting time. We are promoting Kir to rule for 50 years until he died. I don't wish him to die, but of course, every day bring near our death. So we are going to die, definitely. So if we don't see that within the SPLM party, whatever SPLM is doing, appointing people to go to like Angelo Beda and other people to do national dialogue is a waste of public resources. And national dialogue, by the way, in 2015, I was in Juba. They wasted millions of pounds and dollars.
Yeah.
Bishilu nasi wadum awil, wadum wilayat al-fogu peace, okay? Wilayat mafi mashakal zawilda, they will send 50 people to waste money, and then they say this is national dialogue. Where people who have really problems, Nas Kotolo Nas Butom Finwell, why don't you send people to talk with them? If you mean national dialogue.
They don't mean national dialogue, of course. That's
okay.
By time.
The Nuer people are not happy. You kill their own people in Juba, go to them in Law Nuer, you do reconciliation with them. But do you think they will go and listen to Angelo Beda? It's not because they hate Angelo Beda, but they know Angelo Beda is not the problem. The problem need to be Riek Machar and Kir, two of them, plus all others who call themselves liberators. Let them go to land of Law Nuer and apologize to Law Nuer people. Say, we have killed your people, your innocent young men, for our Karasi. Okay? We are sorry, forgive us. That's where you can talk about national dialogue and peace and forgiveness and reconciliation. If you are doing things in Juba,
or implement the peace agreement and bring stability. That's
yes,
because national dialogue, it's something will come automatically. You know,
and you go to a
if you are implementing peace agreement, okay. If you are stabilizing the country, there is security in the country. You are not intimidating. Okay, you are delivering services. You are doing infrastructure, and then that part of national dialogue, because everyone will see themselves reflected. The services are here. I'm represented. Okay. So that's what needed. But Salva Kiir and his colleague, they know what they're doing. And I said this numerous times.
They're buying time, they're engaging people, the politicians that they think they are opponent and opposing them, they are being put in Freedom Hall, being fed and taken to hotels to waste their time, to engage them, pay their money to pay Gurush Leyalum for Uganda or Kenya, and the country is being looted in the name of peace. Okay? If they want real reconciliation, it has to start within the SPLM political party. This party is a liability to the nation, to the land of South Sudan. If they don't do this, if Kir thinks that they can coup and Riek thinks that this was not coup, if this is their old debate that they are still telling us, there is nothing called national dialogue. They have to go to WOW. Apologize le nazi betawa alkan kotolom. Victims were shot, they were killed by live bullet. Riek and Kir has to go to WOW and apologize to the people of Northern Barkazal. Say, my fellow citizen, we have killed your innocent people. We are sorry. and compensate those people. Go to a will, those child soldiers of Matianganyor. Some mothers are still searching for their kids. They don't know their kids were killed in the war. Kir Ariak should go to a will and say, you mothers and fathers of the kids that died as Matianganyor, we are sorry for putting these young kids in war because of our political disagreement within the SPLM party. Forgive us. People will forgive them. But if they think they are smart, with their few military intelligence and few tigers and few national securities, they think they can continue to fool people of South Sudan and continue to be in political position power for long. One day, they will be hanged like Saddam Hussein. Mark my word. National dialogue will not be Jesus Christ to save SPLM political party. National dialogue will not be Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad to be the last prophet to save SPLM political party. What will save South Sudan is the SPLM to come and confess their sin. It's a religious terminology, but come and apologize in public that you, the leaders of SPLM, you have created unnecessary war against the people of South Sudan to kill each other and created hatred.
Not only apology. If they apologize and keep doing the same thing, then there would be no meaning for apologize. They have to
apology has three criteria. You know? Apology has three criteria, Jonkor.
Yeah.
For apology to be accepted, first you have to admit that you have done the wrong thing. Okay? Admit it with all your heart. You have committed a crime. It's the wrong thing. Number two, make sure you compensate the victims. Number three, make sure you don't repeat it again. You see, if one criterion is missing out of these three criteria, that's not a full apology. It has happened here in Australia. For the former Prime Minister of Australia, Kevin Rudd, gave an apology to the indigenous people. The indigenous people are the owners of Australia, the land, the traditional owners of Australia. Kevin Rudd gave apology, but the apology was lacking compensation, was lacking not to repeat this. Because when I apologize to you, Jonkor, I must make sure I will not do it again. But these politicians of SPLM, they have not even admitted the word sorry that we have done something wrong. Yeah, let alone to compensate the victims, let alone to assure the people of South Sudan that we are not going to continue to create hatred and mistrust among the people, to kill each other and to hate each other. They have not. That's why I say I don't care whether you bring 10 TB Joshua. It will not solve President Kiir's problem. I don't care whether your feet and your hair are kissed by Pope. It will not solve the problem of South Sudan. You can be kissed by Jesus, and you still come as a devil and kill people if you don't repent and confess your sin. So the problem, the SPLM need the dialogue first and reconciliation within the party. If you don't do this, you're just giving our money to TB Joshua and all these prophets that when the citizens need them. TB Joshua cannot solve the problem. I'm not against TB Joshua. I'm a born-again Christian. Okay? But even Jesus, if you bring Jesus to Juba, to J1, Jesus will not solve your problem if you don't confess that you are a sinner. If you don't say, I am a sinner, God forgive me, I repent from the old way of doing things, and I want to do things in a good way, in a right way, Jesus will not solve your problem. Let alone somebody who believes in Jesus and come and tell you, I will solve your problem.
Moses, we got to wrap it up because it's about time. So anyway, I really, really appreciate you. Unless you wanted to add something, really quick before we...
I just want to conclude that national dialogue is not going to work. It's a waste of resources, a waste of time. The real dialogue will start if SPLM is out of the country, out of power. Or SPLM repent and make the peace within the party. All these SPLM A to Z has to come back and apologize to the people of South Sudan and compensate those victims that the kids that were killed in Matianganyor and Law Nuer and people that were killed in Western Barakazal, all these victims need to be compensated. And the SPLM has to make sure that they are not going to repeat the same political behaviors if they are going to be forgiven and exist as a political party in South Sudan. Otherwise, they will continue to loot the public money in the name of this is a country we have liberated, which is a lie. People got the independent because 98% of South Sudanese voted for independent. That was not the vote of Riek Machar and Kir or SPLM members only. Top leaders that reached 98%. No. So let's not buy the liars. Let's not be divided. Let's not buy this politics of hatred. And let's trusting ourselves, unite as all tribe of South Sudan, and let's protest against this government. And one day they will be kicked out like Saddam Hussein if they don't want to repent. And I thank all the viewers. I thank you, Jonkor. And I salute you. I will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moses. It's always good to have you with the great perspective. It was good, tonight.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead. Yes, as we, have a big question tonight. Last year, like I said, we talked about 8 points, including national dialogue, Arusha, national prayers, going to Pope, peace agreement first, in Addis Ababa, in Khartoum, and so forth. And nothing is working. It's not because all the effort are not working, but because there is no political will in the country. There is no political will. They wanted to stay in power, and they will continue to stay in power. I understand a lot of people, sometimes they keep writing, they said, oh, you guys are speaking about the same thing over and over again. Yes, it's the same thing over and over again, because the same thing over and over be repeated in the country. And we don't want the same thing to be repeated over and over again. And that's why we are not moving forward. And that's why there is instability in the country, instability in the country. Okay, the country is stable, That's why there is no infrastructure in the country, no clean water, nothing. Peace agreement has been signed, it's not going to be implemented. The government is going back with the same deceptions, okay? In Nufi national dialogue, but actually this to buy time. We're supposed to have a fair and free election in 2015. They created war before 2015, because they knew that when election come, SPLM party fell, President Kir fell, they are not going to win. You remember the assessment of 2012 when they went all over the state and counties and Payam, and the survey actually showed that 80% of South Sudanese are not satisfied with what SPLM has done to the country. This is 2012. I am monitoring every single thing in the country. Okay, that's why they created war, so they can have another mandate, and they succeeded. They have another mandate in 2015, and they did not even implement that peace agreement. They created another crisis in 2016, and then they have another mandate in 2018. Now the mandate that they have in 2018 supposed to be finished, and we're supposed to have a fair and free election in 2021, which is next September. But wait, it's not going to happen. We have how many months away now? We have 10 months away. So Salva Kiir has been ruling the country, just getting mandate here and mandate here and mandate here and mandate here, because he knows what he has done. Madari yemshi, Uma bemshi. But what bugging me a lot is when we are complicit as the people of South Sudan. And instead of moving to center and address our real enemy, we are just holding back. We're treating to our own tribes. Oh, wallahi, the Nuer, the Denka, the Shuluk, the Munu, Marve, Udel. A systematic target. Ana waredkum. But be awwal zol katalo. Ashan itkallam, he spoke the truth. We could sal. Yeah, SPLM. This is not what we fought for. You remember very well? Isaiah Abram. It was the Dinka. It was the first target. Okay? And more. That's Bolding. That's Munu. But sure shouldn't be a target. Le Shabab Ta'awul within Juba. النون gunmen بيقتل ناس لو زول اللي بيتكلم بالليل بعدين يقتلوك بعد شوية they move create intercommunal conflicts the Nuer in unity the Twitch Mayadit in areas in Warab let them fight let the Agar fight more people are fighting more government is surviving that's the strategy Murley with the Dinkabor with the Launuer create war in Equatoria so they can destabilize, run away. It's okay. They are making noises. Okay. But sure, just, target youth, Shabab in Bor. It's systematic. Okay. And now go to Malakal, create a non-gunman, shoot Shuluk. They are making a lot of noises. Lama call Hina, Flane, Shuluk, they are talking too much. They are creating. It is systematic. It is not about Dinka. It is not about Nuer. It's not about, that group in Juba, they know what they're doing. They target anyone. You see? But in order to get out of this, we need to unite and think national. We don't want to run away from the problem. Zolta Barakazan I'm tired of it. Let me leave them alone. We don't belong together. No. They, like Moses put it, we got this country. Yes, they will fight. The SPLA has done their job. But collectively, as a citizen of South Sudan, we voted overwhelmingly. That's why we have the Republic of South Sudan. But now they don't care. The decisions are made by those authoritarian. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anything. They don't care about anyone. But yet we have to, sometimes we blame ourselves, we need to arfin who is the real enemy. But if we put our string together like this, trust me, they cannot. Because they knew now, they poison mine, I will poison the Shabab, right? They know how to get us, divide and conquer, divide and rule, along ethnic, along clients, along region. That's what it is. So, I wanted to remind you, my people, this is the same Salva Kiir since 2005, 15 years. ولا في شارع ولا في مويه نظيف ولا في مستشفى اوكي ولا في security في البلد. ده زول كان ضابط استخبارات في خرطوم. Do you think he cannot bring about security in the country? He can do it. Easy to do it. But he survived when people are divided. That's why. And he's not willing to go anywhere. That's why he said in Addis Ababa 2017, when he said, what is my incentive if I have to sign peace agreement and leave the government? What is my incentive? Okay, let's ask ourselves, what incentive Salva Kiir need? What does he need? Does he need amnesty from people of South Sudan? يطلع من حكومة ما يسألوا. That's what he need? ما يسألوا عن corruption, ما يسألوا عن حاجة ده. Okay, let's think about it. Is that what he need? Let people have collective, ideas together and find way. لأن البلد ده كده نحن ما نلقى بلد ذاته. We are not going to get this country. We are not going to get it. You see? But we are very reluctant. Please quit tying your countrymen, your countrywomen with their tribes. Let us unite with ideals. Mistrust them, just work on it. Let's work on this mistrust. He's a Nuer, cannot be trustworthy. He's a Dinka, cannot be trustworthy. He's a Bari, cannot be trustworthy. Unity always through ideals. Not by blood, not by color. Color, we are all black anyway. Okay? But ideals, let's put ideals together. Who is our enemy? And I think we got this. I really appreciate you coming on and being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan and watching tonight. I want to leave you. May God bless you. May God bless our country. And let's keep hoping we will get there together. We will. So thank you so much and have a lovely night.
Suena jajas moye bare front. Apa nyeroni go ngatiria. Di madra bare front mamoro gumba.
Select the food.